Hi sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya. Same, if this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button, turn on the notification so you are notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am saying a very big shout out to every one of you for all the love and support you all give me here. I am truly grateful. Thank you all so much. So today we'll be talking something very important, and people are canceling them. Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, like, how did they wake up with things like this? You know, they were asked the meaning of woke, and you will not even believe what these people said about woke. And I am gonna ask, how do you people wake up to this kind of definitions? And because they feel like they cannot use the N word anymore, they run around, they go around like, grab woke, and to them, yeah, woke is the the next N word. When they do not even understand it, they do not even know why Black people started using woke. I mean, it's kind of funny because as it stands right now, woke is something very horrible to them, like something really horrible, because they said Florida is where woke goes to die. And they do not know the meaning of woke. They do not understand the concept, like do not understand how Black people started using woke. And you people think Black people are ever gonna stop using woke? They will never stop using woke. And you know what? Black people are constantly and continuously woke for the rest of their lives. Because yeah, if you are not woke, especially with this, you are. Go what I am saying. So they are woke and they will continue to be woke. But you know what? Step into the screen. I'm just gonna roll this clip. We'll come back to talk about it. I absolutely want to read all your comments. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. So straight up here, we'll go.
MAGA Republican candidate for President Nikki Haley is openly courting racists and white supremacists by lying about the meaning of the word woke and critical race theory. Let's address this. First, let's address this word woke and the way Republicans are using it.
What would you have to say about the wokeism that's infiltrating the school systems?
Let's be clear, racists are using the word woke because they can't use the N-word any longer. But more importantly, they're using it to detract from the legitimate grievances that Black people, Indigenous people, and other people of color have at the racial injustices in America. Rather than have an actual and honest conversation on why the Black maternal mortality rate is 300% that of white mothers, they want to dismiss it as wokeism. Rather than try to understand why Black and brown people are arrested at 6 to 9 times the rate of white people for the exact same crimes, they want to call it wokeism. Rather than have an honest conversation on why Black and brown majority schools receive $23 billion less in funding than white majority schools, they want to dismiss it as wokeism. And then after dismissing legitimate racial injustices as wokeism, MAGA Republicans do something even more sinister. They lie, they project, and they try to paint themselves as a victim. And this is what Nikki Haley does next.
90% of our American kids are now under critical race theory. And what that means is if a little girl goes into kindergarten, if she's white, you're telling her she's bad. If she's brown or Black, you're telling her she's never going to be good enough and she's always going to be a victim. And that's wrong. First
of all, the idea that 90% of our children are being taught critical race theory is this is a flat out lie. It's a college level course. Most children will never take this course. And that's notwithstanding the fact that learning about America's history of racial injustice is not a bad thing. But she does something even more sinister. Nothing about critical race theory tells white kids that they're at fault, and nothing about it tells Black and brown kids that they're never good enough. This is MAGA projection of what they think in their own mind. And this is the MAGA attempt to avoid the actual systemic injustices, just 3 examples of which I gave earlier, to make it seem like if they simply wish away racism, it'll magically go away, as if the systemic injustices that exist now are there as a figment of our imagination and not as a legacy of slavery, genocide, and Jim Crow. The only reason MAGA Republicans refuse to teach or learn about America's history of systemic injustice and racism is because they want to perpetuate it in the future.
2024 presidential Republican presidential nomination. She got herself a nice little CNN town hall. She was asked to define woke, it did not go well.
Define woke.
There's a lot of things. I mean, you want to start with biological boys playing in girls' sports. That's one thing. The fact that we have gender pronoun classes in the military now. I mean, all of these things that are pushing what a small minority want on the majority of Americans, it's too much. It's too much. I mean, the idea that we have biological boys playing in girls' sports, it is the women's issue of our time.
Is it?
My daughter ran track in high school. I don't even know how I would have that conversation with her. How are we supposed to get our girls used to the fact that biological boys are in their locker rooms?
Okay, so she goes off the rails. Asked to define woke, she says woke is stuff like biological boys in girls' locker rooms. Now, she's certainly not defining it. She's giving examples of things she believes are woke. It's sort of like if I said, hey, can you define what a fruit is? And you go, well, you know, you've got your banana. You've got your cantaloupe, right? But what's the definition of fruit? And we would say, oh, well, the fruit is the seed-bearing structure in a flowering plant formed from the ovary after flowering. Now, it's true that sometimes examples might be more illustrative than some kind of definition, but these are the people who say, if you can't define woman, there's something wrong with you. Here was Ron DeSantis given an attempt to, given the opportunity to define woke just a few days ago.
We know what woke is. It's a form of cultural Marxism. It's about putting merit and achievement behind identity politics, and it's basically a war on the truth. And as that has infected institutions, it has corrupted a lot of institutions. So you've got to be willing to fight the woke. We've done it in Florida.
Okay, so cultural Marxism was DeSantis's answer. So a couple different.
This is hilarious. Republican Nikki Haley was just asked to define the word woke, and she couldn't. She went on this entire rant about boys and girls sports and all this other crap. Take a look at the clip.
Woke, the word woke, used to be used by progressives to talk about an awareness of inequities and historical inequities. But obviously it means something else to conservatives criticizing it. What does it mean to you? How do you define woke?
There's a lot of things. I mean, you want to start with biological boys playing in girls' sports. That's one thing. The fact that we have gender pronoun classes in the military now. I mean, all of these things that are pushing what a small minority want on the majority of Americans, it's too much. It's too much. I mean,
So Republican messaging for the upcoming election season is becoming very clear, and surprise, surprise, it all comes down to one word: woke. That is where it begins and ends, right there. No platform, no policies. They are fighting wokeness wherever they can find it, and it is a very convenient euphemism for them to be able to use because it's cute, it's one syllable, easy to remember, and it protects the people who hear it from having to think too hard about what is a millimeter beneath the surface of that. So in a world where people at a leading conservative conference are talking about eradicating transgenderism, we need to be really clear in requiring Republican candidates to define their terms. They can't be allowed to use cutesy euphemisms like woke, when what they really mean is that they're against people who are anti-racism, anti-homophobia, anti-transphobia, who are accepting and embracing and loving of diversity in this country, as opposed to requiring everyone to look, believe, and act the same. It's a terrifying path they're on. We can't allow them to talk around it.
The word woke was used by black parents in the early 20th century to warn their children when they went out of the house, be woke, be careful, be alert, make sure that you don't get lynched or beaten up or arrested falsely. And since that time, at least according to the best dictionaries, woke means the state of being alert to injustice, prejudice, racial or social discrimination. So what Ron DeSantis and others are saying, they're for discrimination, they're for injustice.
So you had that right. Like, I saw this and I was like, wait, how did they get here? I didn't really know how they got this woke and how because for them, Florida is where woke goes to die. I mean, if you're woke, you broke. And I really do not understand how they came about like all this, right? And you all can see they asked Haley to define woke, and she just kept dabbling around, and like nothing was said. So it really means like, you know, they really do not understand what that means. But I mean, For them, woke is like another word for N word, like the other man said. And I really do concur with them, because the way they are pushing woke, like they push woke like it's something very horrible. It's something you really do not have to hear. It's something that it's like, you know, so horrible. It's something that black people made up in order to be like, you know, this and that and the rest of it. And that really sucks. And what can I tell them? How dare you use something you know nothing about? Because you cannot be using a word and you do not know the meaning. You were asked to define that and you just kept dancing around till you ended up not saying anything. Yo, black people are absolutely woke, and they are gonna keep being woke till the end of time, because yo, you all made them woke. This is where I am gonna draw the curtain. Thank you so much for all the love and support. I really do appreciate you all, and see you all in my next video. I absolutely want to read your comments. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. And so here we go. Bye.